Hi guys, don't know if you see the other video I've just put up about my traditional Kepot style knife Mark II, which I'm going to be doing a video on. But this video is basically, I mentioned that a lot of resources that you find can be found in the forest or the woodlands, and one of the resources for firelighting that I've never actually tried myself is actually catkins that obviously fall off the tree, and because of the fluffy material that it's made from, it can take a spark relatively quickly as long as it's dry from a ferro rod or a lighter or anything like that, or whatever you've got on you, which I'm going to demonstrate to you today. And the ember that it produces is actually really good, and I managed to keep the ember for about maybe a couple of minutes, maybe more. So I was quite impressed with it. So it's another resource that I can rely on at certain times of the year, obviously when the trees are reproducing and produce the catkins, which I'm not going to go too much depth into, because obviously it's not a science channel. I don't want to bore everybody, but let's crack on with the video anyway, and I'll just show you. I'll just put this remote down before I lose it. Okay, so typical catkins. So this is the shape of a catkin. It's basically just how the tree, like many trees have catkins, ash, alder, like this. Looks a bit like a furry caterpillar, and obviously these fall from the tree, from the branch, and then they kind of open up, and you've got all these little tiny seeds, a bit like a dandelion seeds, how dandelions reproduce. Obviously what we used to call fairies, it's a bit similar thing here. Obviously the seeds get carried with the wind for miles and miles on end across the countryside, and obviously that's the whole system starts again, and that's how they reproduce, and that's how dandelions, that's why when you cut your lawn and you sever a dandelion, or sever the head of a dandelion that's produced seeds, kind of doing like more harm than good, because obviously the seed gives the seeds a chance to spread, and very rapidly, and next few days you wake up and then you've got a load of dandelions on your garden, which a lot of people don't like too much. But when you cut your garden and go through dandelions, etc., it kind of makes the situation worse, especially if you want to get rid of dandelions, but really you're adding to it, you're adding to the problem, because you're spreading the seeds. But the similar can be said for obviously these catkins here. Now I'm not talking about the science or anything like that, nearly fell over, that would have been funny, but what I am saying is how this can be used as a source for us bushcrafters of lighting a fire. So without further ado, move this back a bit. I'm going to try and do this the best I can for you so that it's in focus. So just apologise a minute. It's in focus. Let's try and get this in focus. Now I know my head's not in focus, but I'm still here obviously. And so I've got my ferrocerium rod, the ferro rod. Actually got my striker. You can use a knife if you want. And before, when I did this, I didn't actually have to do much fluffing about. So I'm going to see if it lights without messing about too much, handling it too much, because I've got sweaty hands. I don't want to put moisture obviously into my tinder bundle. So let's see if she lights. Now I want to concentrate with all lighting with ferro rods. You want to try and concentrate the full heat, the full spark on the actual tinder bundle. So you don't want to be striking up here, you want to get as close to the actual lighting source as you can. rearrange that slightly more. Okay, there we go. It's a bit harder when I've got this log. So, here we go. Might take a few attempts, but there we go. And just lift it up to show you. Might have probably gone out now. Sod law, but I did have an ember anyway. Let's do it again. But sometimes you have to persist. Let's try it again. I'm going to do try and spread the ember this time. Doesn't help that the wind's ears just got up. So again, lighting close to the source, and it does actually take a spark relatively easy. Got another one there. It's just dropping it in the right place at the right time. See, already we've got another one. So this is how easy it is, this stuff. Just typical, as soon as you put the camera on. Like I say, I don't edit my videos. Trying to get a bigger ember. There we go. I think this catkin is probably a little bit damp. Compared to the last one I did. But you've got to persist because I did it earlier. Take your time, because people are watching. Oop. Another one. So it does light. Okay, so here we go. Put the camera up. So it took so long, but as you can see, we've got an ember. This is catkin, but look how hot this gets. See it's smouldering. Okay, so again, catkins, another source of firelighting, and these are really small. But obviously I'm not lighting a fire today, just trying to show you. And I think the first one probably like 2 or 3 minutes. You can see as the air gets to it in the wind, you can see it's still smouldering. Okay, so catkins, it's the very first time I've ever used catkins for firelighting, but there we go. Just proves that you know, there's plenty of resources if you know where to look. And if you look at a catkin as well, it's a little bit like cotton wool, but also got these little kind of curly bits. It's really hard to focus on camera. It's little curly bits, which is almost like when we do feather sticks, and these catch fire in a similar way like feather sticks do. So yeah, awesome. So let's stick that on there. The ground's very wet today, so that's probably why it took a little bit longer to light it than it did earlier. But we did it, that's the main thing. So I'm going to show you where you can find it. This woods is absolutely full of all the seeds blowing about from catkins and things like that. I even had a couple of seeds drop into my tea and my pot noodle as well, which I've just eaten. So taking a bit of a journey. Taking a bit of a journey now to see some catkins. Again, I'm not the best cameraman in the world. Go this way so I don't break my neck and trip over. Okay, so I'm going to put it in this view. And resources are all around if you know where to look. From birch bark to punk wood, which is obviously dried out wood, which again I'll go more in depth with in due course on my bushcraft videos. But you can see we're coming up to this tree here, and all on the floor are these catkins here. Now my camera decides to focus. It wouldn't focus before. You can see what I was saying before is these curly bits here, as well as the seeds themselves, are almost like feather sticks, what we use in bushcraft to help light a fire, but they're everywhere. And this is how the trees, nature as we know it, reproduces. These blow in the wind and go for miles and miles and miles. You know, there's thousands here, so plenty of resources for the for people like me and the bushcrafter. So if you want an alternative resource for fire, then catkins, folks, winner all around. Like I say, it's the first time I've lit catkins today, used it for fire sources. I've heard it can be done, I've read that it can be done, but I've never actually tested it myself until today. But yeah, it took a few attempts, but probably because the catkins themselves was probably a little bit damp, so I would suggest obviously put them in your pocket or something close to your body heat, and keep them as dry as you can, like most things that you find in the natural forest for woodland. Now, without breaking my neck, try and get out of here. So yeah, there we have it, folks. So yeah, ember by catkin and ferro rod. Awesome. So I'll see you in the next video. I hope that you learned something from this, and I'll go through a few other bits and bobs and probably do a review on my Mark II bushcraft knife I made from a butcher's knife. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.